The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
You obviously launched a fresh round of strikes overnight. Iran said overnight the Strait of Hormuz is closed. CENTCOM came out this morning and said the Strait of Hormuz is open. Which is it, Mr. President, and how are you going to respond?
And I don't want to talk about it because I want to honor the life of Lindsey Graham, so I don't want to talk about it. I told you that before.
Friends, Donald Trump wants to honor the life of Lindsey Graham. There is news breaking right now, an announcement being made about who will succeed Lindsey Graham in the interim. Let's just go and take that live. James Golden, Bo Snerdley here with you.
World. Lindsey Graham recognized the seriousness of his work, but also the value of humor and a lighthearted spirit. Lindsey Graham understood the hopes, dreams, and needs of his state and delivered for his state every time. Presidents, paupers, famous or forgotten, he treated us all the same. We have seen him attack evil and injustice and embrace friendship and the common good with equal fervor and strength. Yes, we are going to miss Lindsey, but we will always remember his quickness, his laugh, and what he has done for us and the world. As he described himself, this poor boy from a little town in South Carolina. Today, under the law, it's my duty and honor to name someone to serve in the place of this irresistible man, this irreplaceable man, this extraordinary man for the remainder of his term. Lindsey took care of his little sister in years long departed.
Did it, sir?
It's my honor to ask his little sister, Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now. And by the way, Darlene, I don't know if I told you, but after we spoke on the phone in the wee hours of Sunday morning, and you agreed to serve through tears, earlier, I had wondered what you would say, and I was humbled by your quickness to see the duty that you had to serve. And I called the president afterwards, and he thought it was a great idea. And I'm sure that everyone here does as well. Darlene, little sister, come forward, please.
Happening in South Carolina right now, Governor McMaster.
Bear with me as I try to get through this. But first, I just want to say one thing I've never heard Lindsey described as is irresistible. So, okay, we'll just start with that. But first, I would like to thank everyone who has called and reached out over the past couple of days. I can't tell you how much it's meant to me and our family. I know Lindsey was loved and respected by many, and I greatly appreciate the memories and even the funny stories that have been shared. These shared experiences, along with our faith, have gotten us through these past 2 very difficult days. Next, I want to thank the governor for selecting me to serve the remainder of Lindsey's term. It is such an honor. Lindsey has always been there for me, and now I will be there for him. My brother was the most amazing person, outstanding leader, and just a genuinely good man. He was kind and considerate and loved by his family dearly. As I think everyone would agree, Lindsey worked harder than anyone. He worked nonstop to make our state, country, and world better. He loved his family and loved serving this state and our country. He dedicated his life to our country. It is such a privilege to get to finish some of his important work, and I promise to work hard over the next several months to support the President and carry forward the efforts of my brother on behalf of the citizens of South Carolina and the United States. I know Lindsey thought the world of his staff and colleagues, and with their support, I feel confident. I think this is what Lindsey would have wanted, and I plan to honor him in this way. Now, to Lindsey, I miss you more than I can even put into words, but I'm going to do this. I got it. Thank you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is news coming straight from South Carolina. The governor, McMaster, announces that Lindsey Graham's sister will take his place for the remainder of his term. He is up for re-election. That term would end in January. Unclear at this point, a little bit too early to speculate on whether his sister might also find her way onto the ballot to succeed him in his what would have been a re-election campaign for Lindsey Graham. Darlene Graham Nordone, his sister, will be taking over as the interim senator for the state of South Carolina. Lindsey Graham's passing, of course, unexpected this weekend. One of the top stories, along with what took place in Iran last night. This is a moment where, and we can talk about Lindsey Graham, and people will be talking about Lindsey Graham and the impact of Lindsey Graham, his larger-than-life personality, the conflicts that occasionally came up. In fact, Rush had nicknamed him at one point Lindsey Grahamnesty when it came to immigration. But Lindsey Graham goes back with many of us who follow the political scenes even before he was senator, back when he was a congressman. And Congressman Lindsey Graham was one of the impeachment managers during the Bill Clinton era, when Bill Clinton was impeached. And a lot of those impeachment managers got wiped out in the following election cycle. The Clinton, the Democrat Party, the Democrat money, Democrat donors saw to it that they had a tough life. Lindsey was one of those that did not get wiped out. Very distinguished career. This is a moment where I would also like to congratulate New York Congressman, Republican, Mike Lawler, for saying what need to be said in the wake of Lindsey Graham's death. We don't have it in an audio soundbite. He put it out there. Hours after the news broke that Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham, had passed away, Nancy Mace shows up with a post, a clip from Godfather Part 3. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. That famous quote with Al Pacino. And Mike Lawler took offense, and rightly so. Literally, no one is pulling you back in. Mike Lawler responded to Nancy Mace on X. Literally, no one is pulling you back in. And he said this post is grotesque, taking glee over the potential of becoming a senator because of a vacancy created by the sudden death of your colleague is vile, completely unfit to serve. And congratulations, Mark Lawler, for putting that nail on that head. It was obscene. And some of the others, they couldn't even wait till Lindsey Graham's body was cold before they started trying to pounce in an opportunistic manner. It was disgusting to see. Likewise disgusting, and this is to be expected from the left, the so-called comedians, actresses. She's called a comedian, she's called an actress, is Margaret Chow person. That's cut 3, Carlos. Let's listen to what she posted.
Bye, Lindsey. Bye, Lindsey Graham. From the closet to the coffin, Real seamless. Real seamless. Also, yeah, Mitch McConnell. So it's Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham. It does happen in threes. Hope.
From the closet to the coffin, she says. Then she mentions Mitch McConnell. It happens in threes. Hope. Everybody knows what she means. This is the kind of classlessness that we've come to expect from the American left, and they never fail to deliver. Totally classless. As classless as Nancy Mace's opportunistic post was. And again, thank you, Mike Lawler from New York, for calling her out on it. There was a lot of news. And I think the right decision has been made by Governor Henry McMaster appointing the sister of Lindsey Graham to finish his term. James Golden is Snerdley with you here. It is Monday. We begin another week with so much news. Whatever you do, keep it right here. Do not go away. Burroughs Snerdley's Rush Hour, the fastest hour in American media, continues.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This officer behind me, we're on Hill Street. The officer is standing at the intersection with Bacon Street, turning cars away from the next street up, which is Pool Street. And we know that's closed. We're seeing several police cruisers up there with officers at both ends. I spoke to a neighbor who lives here on Hill Street, just a few houses down from this intersection. She told me she was woken up around 8 o'clock this morning by the sound of gunshots and then a lot of sirens and this heavy police presence. And we are hearing that ICE officers were involved in this shooting, but she told me she had not noticed an increased ICE presence or had not heard about them being in this neighborhood. She did comment that she's always felt safe here living on Hill Street and is now questioning her safety this morning. We are still waiting for more details about exactly what happened and the reason for this shooting, but those details have not yet been released. For now, reporting live in Biddeford, I'm Jamie Azoulay, Maine's Total Coverage.
Yeah, Maine. This is Maine. And on Maine's Total Coverage, what they did not say was what happening. Supposedly, this is another instance where an ICE agent was being threatened with being run over and shots were fired. We will have to wait, of course, to find out whether that is true or not. ICE, there's a shooting now that's being investigated in Houston. There's this now that happened in Maine. In Minnesota, AP story that broke this afternoon, prosecutors obtain long withheld evidence in investigation into protest shooting deaths. They weren't protests, but they were a bit more than that. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty said federal investigators have provided previously withheld hard drives containing statements, police body cam video, and other evidence in the killings. They also turned over Renee Good's badly damaged SUV. It's a wonderful thing now as we have all the evidence, she said. Anytime the government is responsible in whatever way of taking the life of a community member, we need to have a full and thorough investigation. A community member. Unbelievable the way that they still frame this. Renee Good was the mother of 3, shot in her vehicle while she was trying to run over an ICE agent after being commanded to stop and refusing to listen to law enforcement. Is the correct way that this rolled out, AP, despite they're saying what they are saying now. And then you have the Alex Preddy thing, which I have never weighed in on one way or another because, to be honest with you, I don't know what happened with this Alex Preddy thing. I'm glad that the information has now been turned on. I thought what happened with Renee Good has been misframed from what we all were able to see by video. But, of course, I haven't seen everything connected with her. But what we know is a lot. Now, right now, I believe the total may be up to 8. When you look at these, that's what the number that's being thrown around. I'm going to have to look at it and see how many incidents have happened. But one thing is clear. The Democrat Party and their irresponsible smearing of ICE and pretending that ICE is some kind of terrorist organization that needs to be fought against and resisted has had an impact. Anytime you cast law enforcement as the villains and you claim that these protesters are fighting some kind of righteous war, you're inviting trouble. And we have trouble. James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media. Both Snerdley's Rush Hour will continue. Keep it right here. Do not go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, Bo Snerdley with you here. Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. Carlos, do you know what today is what today's anniversary is of, by any chance? You should know, actually. Something big, huge.
Like locally big?
No. Like big all around the world, my brother. All around the big world. The
French thing is tomorrow.
What French thing? You talking about Bastille Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Screw that.
So, no, I don't.
It is the anniversary of the playing of the first World Cup. Today is. In 1930, on this day, 1930, it was a cold winter day in Montevideo, Uruguay. And the first World Cup began. It was a modest affair compared to today. It was 13 teams. So they had to come up with a format. And believe it or not, the United States, I didn't even know this, the United States was playing in the first one. I didn't think we even had a soccer team till whenever. I didn't even know we had a soccer team till I was like, because who cared about soccer back then? But we were in the first World Cup, too. Wow. So, I mean, the United States, by the way, defeated Belgium in the beginning, and they went to the semifinals, which is the only time that they've ever been in the semifinals. But today is the anniversary of the first World Cup being played. Now, we're down to the semifinals again. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who is it?
It's France and Spain tomorrow.
Ugh.
Argentina and England Wednesday.
All right, who do you want to see in the battle? France, Spain, England, and Argentina.
I couldn't care less, to be honest, at this point.
Oh, you're done.
I don't care. I mean, it looks like it's going to be Argentina-France again, like it was 4 years ago, but whatever.
Man, I thought you loved the game. You don't love the game.
No,
you just love your team.
Love going out.
And once your team is gone, you're like, screw the rest of them. I'm done. Who cares?
Yep. I love going out and watching the games.
Huh. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens this time. Okay, back to news more pressing in our hemisphere. Ro Khanna was out crying, moaning over the weekend. Now, crying and moaning. Apparently what he says, Ro Khanna, is that Israeli settlers stopped and detained him And this was just a portion of an interview that he did on Fox Cut 6. This is Ro Khanna.
Did you really not know that going into a restricted military area guarded by local security forces was going to result in your entourage getting stopped?
It was not a area that was restricted by military. American Congress people had been there before. We went with
prior coordination,
sir. If I could just finish, please, because this should be an outrage to any American citizen what happened.
There should be an outrage to every American citizen what happened. I'm not outraged. You got to stop. Now, the Israeli ambassador to the United States, Michael Leitner, was on ABC. No, he was on CBS. And Margaret Brennan was hosting that Disgrace the Nation show, Face the Nation, Disgrace the Nation, whatever it is. Anyway, they had an exchange about it. That would be cut number, cut number 7. And this is how that discussion went on Disgrace the Nation.
Well, before I let you go, there were 2 high-profile incidents I want to quickly touch on here. One, a CNN crew attacked in the West Bank by what they say were 4 settlers. There was also an incident with Ro Khanna, the congressman from California, who said he was his vehicles he was in were stopped by Israeli settlers, and then when the IDF showed up, they were on the side of the settlers, not him. He said it's not a good idea to detain long-shot presidential candidates. It was a warning to your government. Do you think your government needs to apologize to both him and those CNN journalists?
Any violence is to be condemned. No excuses, no explanations. Okay? So if CNN crew was attacked, that needs to be condemned, and I'm doing so right now. And we need to do a better job. You
are condemning it. Their report.
If it was actually took place as they've reported it, absolutely condemning it. We need to rein in violence on all sides. Now, in terms of Ro Khanna, we reached out to him when we heard he was going to Israel, the Israeli embassy here in Washington. As all congressmen do, they coordinate their trip with the Israeli government. We suggested he visit with survivors of the October 7th massacre, that he visit the borders so he understands the issues that we have on our borders, and so on. He ignored that, and he decided to coordinate his trip not with Israel, but with Palestinian activists and with J Street, which is a anti-government, anti-Israeli government advocacy group here in Washington. So, you know, he coordinated.
It's a Jewish Slavi group.
Well, it's
that is supportive of a different path for Israel.
Yeah. I play tennis once a year. That doesn't make me a tennis player. The fact that they call themselves a Jewish organization is irrelevant. They're a advocacy group against the government of Israel. That has to be clear.
Netanyahu government.
Yes.
So what you mean.
And
the government you work for.
And Congressman Khanna has made no secret about his antipathy towards the government of Israel as well. So perhaps if he would have coordinated the trip, and then, you know, to have this incident on Wednesday and wait to release it on Saturday, maybe this had more something to do with his support of Graham Plattner beforehand and the difficulties he had with that, and trying to shift the focus to something else, perhaps. I'm asking a question.
Well, we did hear from Congressman Khanna, who said that there was an alert to the embassy on his behalf, and that they asked for the news to be held until he had left the country.
There was not an alert. There was a question about visas, that's all. But when we requested that he coordinate the trip with us, he rejected that by basically staying silent. So that's unfortunate. This whole incident is unfortunate. And if somebody, it's kind of interesting that somebody wants to declare a presidential run by running off to Israel. Not strange?
Well, we're going to have to leave it there, sir.
Well, let's leave it there. I don't want to answer that question.
I'm out of time. Thank you.
I'm out of time. No, I don't want to answer that question. Isn't it strange that Ro Khanna does all this, has this stupid stunt, so that he can announce that he's running for president? Please, everybody, forget about Plattner. Please forget about that. Look at me. Everybody should be outraged. Some Israeli settlers stopped me. Ooh, look at me. Be outraged. I'm not outraged. And you go over there. I think the Israeli government should be warned not to stop not to take the sides of a long-shot presidential candidate. By the way, he's announced his candidacy. Now, that should kick in a lot of law. If you notice, this gets intricate, and I don't want to get too in the weeds. But once you announce, a lot of law kicks in, election law kicks in, which is why, my friends, there's a long period usually where candidates announce that they are going to explore the possibility of running for president. They put together an exploratory committee, but they don't announce until they reach a specific part because it kicks in federal election law. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Ro Khanna in Israel has now kicked in federal election law, and his actions and movements and what he says and the money that he raises ought to be tracked very carefully from this moment. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, Rahm Emanuel. He was in Israel. Rahm Emanuel did a big speech in Tel Aviv. He's another one that wants to be president on the Democrat side. Another presidential aspirant in Israel. Rahm Emanuel is back home now, and he's talking about the socialists quite openly that have taken over his party. Cut 12, this is Rahm Emanuel.
I disagree with the Democratic Socialists. I'm not for defunding the police. I'm not for open borders. I'm not for eliminating prisons. I'm for turning red to blue. I don't give any win. There's no medals. There's no third grade trophy for effort turning blue to cobalt blue. I don't believe in that. Those are all policy people. I also believe, because I win elections, I also believe in passing health care and passing minimum wage, and you can't do it on your strategy. I don't support these people, and I don't want them in the Democratic Party, and there's a reason you're not invited. Because your socialism, as we would say in Chicago, that dog doesn't hunt.
That dog don't hunt. Okay, so Rahm Emanuel, another one of those raising his voice to the socialists that are now taking over his party. Nick Shirley we have a quick one from Nick Shirley. We had one last week where Nick Shirley was investigating a daycare scam in New York that claims to have 7,000 patients. 7,000. He was on Fox being interviewed. Cut 16, this is Nick Shirley.
I go to this first location and they're like, well, we're losing all our clients because this daycare is offering kickbacks. And I said, well, is the fraud real? And they say, yes, the fraud is very much real. And so then I kept digging and I went to this next location. And at one location, they had 7,000 patients, more than 7,000 patients, and they were billing up to $12 million. And it's only one-story building.
Wow.
On the second floor of the building.
One-story building that he went to, the second floor in that building, claims to have 7,000 daycare patients. 7,000. Billion to government. Now, Letitia James, apparently too busy to look into that. Adam Bragg, too busy to look into that. Governor Hochul, too busy to look into that. But you know what they're not too busy for? 12 states now have decided that Paramount shouldn't own Warner Brothers. 12 states are suing. They are Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Nevada, or Nevada, or Nevada. However you want. I'm saying that because some guy out there was upset a few weeks ago with the way somebody pronounced Nevada. He could be Nevada, whatever. New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, and Washington, all suing to try to stop Paramount from taking over Warner Brothers. Carlos, do you care whether Paramount buys Warner Brothers or not? Do you care one bit?
I mean, they're going to put like all of the stuff under one streaming, so it's going to be more expensive to have HBO or like stuff like that. But besides, no, I don't really care.
Okay. How do you know they're going to do that? How do you know they might not just keep? You know what? Do you know the real reason they're suing? Can I tell you the real reason they're suing?
Sure.
They're afraid. They're afraid of what is going to happen when mainstream media outlets get totally taken over. They're already B.I. itching and moaning about CBS and what's happened over at 60 Minutes. They're already moaning because their liberal media is being taken over by people they think are Trump supporters. That's what's really going on. They think Ellison and his bunch support Trump. They're pissed off because CNN might be next. They're worried. They are so worried that all of a sudden CNN, CBS are going to be in the not business of the mainstream media propaganda for liberals. That's why this lawsuit is happening.
Well, they should have pushed more than for the Netflix, when Netflix was going to buy them.
Well, maybe they should have. Exactly. Carlos, you're up on it, man. Carlos. Okay, folks, we have one story, and then we have to get to Clip of the Day. And I have one story that I have to get. I'm not going to have time to get into this story as much as I'd like to. And by the way, if you missed what happened in Iran last night, if you missed some of the video of what happened in Iran last night, taking out IRGC, it is stunning video of the air campaign that happened last night. I can't believe it's not all over the place. A New York official has admitted that he was ordered by a city lawyer to deny access to documents about the 9/11 toxins. In other words, just let me put this, the city is still covering up what took place with toxins on 9/11. There was a deposition, and it comes out that a city lawyer is one of the ones, and he was there at the deposition representing the guy that he told don't release the documents to a group called 9/11 Health Watch. They have been hiding the truth for years of what happened to 9/11. They are still hiding the truth. They don't want people to know. New York City, the government of New York City is actively hiding the truth of what the aftermath of 9/11 was truly like for the citizens and workers and first responders of New York. And that is now being confirmed in a deposition where they admitted their lawyer told us, don't release the documents. Coming back with the Clip of the Day, don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The clip of the day. You want to hear it. It's the clip of the day.
Serpent Head makes a return on our airwaves with a clip of the day. James Carville on the Democrats' newest arrivals.
But it's the Democrats' fault. It's the corporate Democrats. It's all because the Democrats listen to Al Gore, some like that. These people are so stupid, I don't know what to say about it. So now we have this idea that these insurgent Democrats, and what is their solution? Is their solution to beat Republicans, to run against Republicans? No. Their solution is to beat Democrats. Like they're part of the problem. No, you are part of the problem because you're an idiot. And you just believe that pablum nonsense that drifts around the left wing, I don't know, whatever sphere, blogosphere, atmosphere, thought sphere, or whatever sphere they got.
Fart sphere. James Carville, Serpent Head, unloading. My friends, we're going to close the show today with this. Curtis Mayfield. In 1990, it's a word that we can say. It's not forbidden. I don't know why we cut it. Do you realize this? That was just like number one records. It was played on the air all the time with the word in it. Anyway, and that was back in the day. This from the Superfly album. But Curtis Mayfield was he was paralyzed on this day in Brooklyn, New York, when a lighting rig fell on him at an outdoor concert in Brooklyn. remembering the great Curtis Mayfield. Went on to still produce music till the end of his life. We got to go. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your family, your loved ones. Love and gratitude for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, back tomorrow for the Tuesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Until then, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?